You guys after something? Beep beep. Oh, you're gonna get my toes. This one sounds like a squeaky toy. Houdini. Crooked Foot. This one here is Sweetheart. But they are loving the new coop. So here are our meat birds. We haven't shown them in a while. And then we have an Easter egger rooster over here. We had a friend who ordered some birds through Real King, and unfortunately most of her birds ended up becoming roosters. And so we took several of them and had them for a while and then put them in with our hens until we could find them homes, because there were 4 or 5 of them. And he ended up getting henpecked, and so I didn't want to rehome him. And he just has a really great personality, and he's really friendly, and he's honestly entertaining. And so Bumbling Acres, Deb and Joe, they took the other roosters because they are wanting to have some Easter eggers and make some pretty eggs and maybe do some breeding. So as of right now, he's still ours, but we might be trying to rehome him at some point because we just don't need roosters at the moment. And these guys will be headed to freezer camp here pretty soon. Bonnie, what are you doing? She just wears a whole circle in the yard. What are you doing, pretty girl? This is a pretty day. It's a pretty day. You're a good boy, Chopper. Now that we are done with the chores, why don't we come check out the garden and see what is thriving and what is kind of finished. The okra I am letting go, and then I'm gonna save the seeds out of the big pods. That's something on my to-do list this evening. Along with the beans, I've been letting them all dry. These are rattlesnake beans that Two Family Homestead sent us. You can hear them rattling around. Save some seeds. The sunflower's gone, but I'll tell you what, this loofah gourd has taken off. It has beautiful blooms over the top. Look, there's pollinators flying around. And it's taken over this trellis, and it's come down, and it's gonna take over this trellis here with the beans. But I still am we're still getting some tomatoes. So here's a tomato. The cucumbers just never did anything. Now I will say all of this vining is cucamelons, which I kept hoping they would take off. Now I have yet to see one blossom. There have been no blossoms yet though, to, then have little melons. So we've got some loofah gourds hanging here. This is the one trellis. Now the trellis that they're planted on is right here. And you can see them. Now I will say I've never grown these before, so this is like a first year thing. Their little flowers are really pretty. When we went to the Homestead picnic over the weekend, we kind of sat and talked about it. Several of us ladies, we all ended up at a table. We were just kind of talking about gardening, and Sabrina from Searching Sabrina was cracking us up because she walked over and she had her phone and she was showing her peppers that she had grown this year. She was like, oh, look what I grew! I grew these! And, just showing everybody pictures. And it's just comical because, as a gardener, sharing that with another gardener, sharing it with somebody that understands, what it takes to grow something. It's just really comical. But we were sitting there talking about different gourds and different things like that. And I had said, do they smell? Like, is it just me or do they smell? And if you like touch these gourds, your hands like have a stench to them. It's definitely not a good smell. But Sarah from Overlook Valley Homestead said it was kind of normal. But I gotta turn this camera around. There are so many little bees flying around. I don't know if you can hear them humming, but there are all sorts of little bees flying around on these loofah flowers sticking up, and the some of these little sunflowers and all of these zinnias that are sitting here in front of me. It's nice to see some pollinators in the garden. It's just a wild mess, but it's a beautiful mess. And these are so neat. You know, when you put in the arches, that's your dream, is to, you know, have beautiful covered arches and things hanging. And this is the first year that like we've had things come up this high. I think last year we had green beans that kind of came up to here, but other than that, the cucumbers always came up about chest high. But to have these, they're hanging above your head as you walk through them. It's just kind of magical. There's a bee up here. And these candy cane stripe zinnias are just absolutely beautiful. Old Redding Farm posted on their Instagram the other day of some of theirs, and it was yellow, and I think it was yellow and pink, and it was just absolutely beautiful. Just the detail. I've got a little tomato right there. And then these were the red kidney beans. I've let them go, and I'm going to save the seeds for those. Same with these green beans here, saving the seeds, because it's that time of year. I need to come and pick the last of some of these green beans. This thing I've just let go, because I didn't really care for them. But I'm still getting big green tomatoes on some of these. Look, there's three tomatoes right there. And it smells incredible right here, because this is cinnamon basil, and it smells so good. And I've been putting it in flower bouquets that I make because it just smells so good. These are those West Wisconsin, I'm totally saying that wrong, peach tomatoes, but they are so soft. Like the skin feels like a peach. Oh, this smells so good right here. And then I've been getting some tomatoes. This one's a little yucky. I'll give that to the chickens. But I'll be picking this beauty. There's another big boy right here. This is the rose tomato, which I just think they're beautiful. It's like a off pink color, which is what this is here too. How about I go ahead and give that to the chickens. They've been sneaking out somehow, and I keep finding these great big tomatoes that, you know, you give one more day to, and they've been getting them. Whoops. I'll let them enjoy that. This is coming down this evening because I'm gonna, oh look, a little pollinator. This is why I've left some of these dying sunflowers, because the pollinators are still enjoying them. But I'm gonna put up the corn this evening on the front porch for decorations. And then in one of the videos I had talked about, we had icicle radishes that came up, and I've just kind of let them all go. And I'm very interested in I'm assuming these are the seed pods for them. And I was hoping to save seeds for them because I had just planted them in a cover crop and they grew. Like, look at this guy. Let's try and pick it together. That big guy. So, I mean, this I planted last year in a cover crop, and it's still producing. Ellie brought one in yesterday, not quite this big, but the ones that have not bolted are getting pretty big. Now, our family doesn't particularly care for fall crops. you know, cabbages, broccoli, cauliflower, those kinds of things. So I don't necessarily spend my time, you know, sowing seeds for those things to then grow. Now, I will be here soon cleaning out the greenhouse, which has been growing its own things that, you know, just appeared. There is a yellow squash growing in one of the beds in the greenhouse that, you know, I don't think I planted. I don't know if a seed fell or, you know, how things just sprout sometimes. But it is growing wild there in the greenhouse. And then there's just a big weed that's just kind of taken off. In the summertime, I tend to just stay away from it because it is so hot. That greenhouse gets over to like 120 easy on those warm, sunny days. So I've just kind of avoided it. And so it's kind of a wild jungle. And about this time every year, I go and clean it out and make it ready for the fall, because we will grow radishes and kale and lettuce and things like that our family does like in the greenhouse all winter. And it did really well for us last year. It's the first winter with the greenhouse, and we were able to grow all winter. It didn't necessarily stay warm at night, but during the day it was relatively warmer than, you know, outside the greenhouse. So kind of excited to get it cleaned out and amend the beds that we have in the greenhouse for the vegetables and things that will be getting planted here soon. Now, this melon patch. I think I talked about this melon patch in the good, the bad, and the ugly video. And look at it now. Some of it still has some disease to it, but there are some blossoms happening. There is a big melon over here that I've been keeping my eye on. I'm gonna pick him here in a few minutes and take him in the house because he's pretty decent size. As for hunting for more melons, not sure what else is in here. Oh, I see one right here. There's another one past my finger. There's a big old dark green one, but it's kind of a jungle. But we put down the black paper, so we haven't had to battle any weeds with any of it, which has been really nice. So it's all just melon vine. So another really cool update that we have not shared with you guys is we got a horse trailer. So as you know, or maybe you don't know, we have a horse whisperer. She's boarded across the road here, and we can see her from the front porch or the back porch. And Dylan has been hunting around for a horse trailer. That way, if we ever want to take her for a trail ride or, you know, take her to the vet, things like that, we are able to haul her in. Also, just to be able to get straw and things like that. You know, we got in the back of his truck, but just to get more. And so we've been on the hunt for a horse trailer. And if, you know, you hunt for trailers and things, they can kind of get expensive. And we had talked about getting one that had a camper, and then, you know, then we could go camping with it and just all that fun stuff. But I don't know, we just kind of changed our minds on it. And one afternoon, Dylan saw that one on Facebook, and oh my gosh, he jumped and squealed, and he was so excited. He was sending me all kinds of pictures. Look. And so we went and picked that guy up last week or the week before, probably last week. And so he's really excited. He went and got more hay last night, and we're gonna go this evening and go get more. So Ellie, did you enjoy the Homestead event that we went to?
Yes. I met one person, and I just a little bit kept calling him a troublemaker.
Oh, you kept calling him a troublemaker?
Yeah.
Wonder who that could have been. Could it have been Mac from Southern Blessed Homestead?
Yeah.
Who else did you meet?
At Petey's Little Homestead.
You did meet Pete from Pete's Little Homestead. Who else did we meet? Did we see Mark and Sarah?
Yeah.
Who else? Did you make a new friend? You made a couple new friends.
Yeah, I actually made 3 more new friends.
You made 3 new friends? Yeah. Who were your 3 new friends that you made? You made friends with Avon Lee from Morris Patch of Family Homestead.
And I forget what the one's name is.
And you made friends with Nathan's daughter from Sampson Farm.
Yep. And forget the other friend I met. Mac.
Mac, you're going back to Mac? He was silly, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, and then this morning he posted me
Oh, he shared a video on his Facebook, didn't he? Was he singing?
Yeah, he was singing in the car while he was driving.
I bet Patty had that the whole way to the picnic. What do you bet?
Yeah.
Had his silly singing. But we had a great time at the picnic. Being able to meet everybody and give hugs was just priceless. So thanks for joining us today here on the homestead.
And take care.